Radio Free Tatooine presents Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast.
Boshuda, fellow Holotable hustlers, you're tuned into Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast that's better than some and worse than others. I'm Sean, a.k.a. the other Sean, and look who's across the Holotable from me. It's Josh, a.k.a. the Golden Pop-Tart.
Well, we made it out of the camping cell phone fun over the weekend. I mean, it was only like 94, 95, and I'm running around the campground going, come on, I just need a little bit more. There was an update, and it needs 3 more megs. We can do this, pals. Come on.
No. Perfect time for an update.
I know.
Man. Well, I don't know if you heard last week, I just griped about how much I hate the game. So talked me off the edge. No. It was interesting timing because there wasn't like crucial news that week. So I talked about some stuff, but just kind of aired it out. And the response that I've gotten from people has been really interesting. I've gotten a lot of people reaching out and sharing stories, and I appreciate that because it's the game. Look, let's just be real. The game gets hard sometimes, like on your mental state, it can get hard. So it's, I'm always open for discussions on that in Discord or wherever. Like, sometimes you just got to scream into the void, and that's what I did to all of you. So thanks. If you're still, we'll see the download numbers are like cut. No one listens to this show anymore. No, thanks for allowing me to do that. I hope that was helpful for people more than just me. But this week's a lot more fun.
Oh, yes.
I don't think we're talking about any frustrating stuff. We're just talking about some. I shouldn't say we're not talking about.
I know, right?
Stuff.
I mean,
we're talking about things that have kind of goofed up in the game a little bit, but like at the end of the day, it's all good. We're fine. Like, it's a circus.
I love that. I'm perfectly fine. I'm okay.
I am calm.
You be calm. I'm calm. You're calm.
I'm calmer than you are. No, it's fine. It's been a weird week. Sometimes this week, like, sometimes updates come out and they don't go as planned exactly. And then when they have to change things, people get upset. And then it turns into this whole media circus thing. So we're going to get in on that, some of that SEO.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about what has happened this week. But first, let's celebrate a Blurf Day, shall we? We only have one Blurf Day. It's Geonosian Spy 2016. Wow. Came out on
that bug has lasted a long time. What is the normal lifespan
June
of a bug?
15th, but that can't be right. I didn't update the date. It ain't, I'll tell you, it ain't 8 years. That's nuts. 8 years? Still alive? Call pest control. That's crazy. That's actually, the date is supposed to be the 30th. The 30th is Geonosian Spy's birthday. Geonosian Spy, I remember when it came out was like, you got Geonosians, they're fine, cool, whatever. But the cool thing about Spy, besides the ship, because the ship was legit for a while, like, you know how it goes against Geonosians. Spy's the one you got to watch.
Oh, yeah.
You got to watch out for that Spy. Because, like, there's taunts over on the Brute, and there's taunts over on Sunfac sometimes. And Spy's usually stealth, so he's hard to get to. But if you don't, if you leave him unchecked, he'll come over there and he'll get you.
It's like an aggressive poke.
Yeah, that is. It's like Kylo Ren's aggressive poke. It can be nasty. So happy birthday, you lousy bug. Now let's take a look at this week's upcoming in-game events, brought to you by SWGoH events.com. For a complete list of past, present, and future events, SWGoH events.com is a universe of info in a galaxy of heroes. This week's a little bit weird because we don't have like quite as much info from CG as we normally get. And I think a lot of that has to do with the raid coming out. Like, there's going to be some stuff popping up with it, I'm guessing, that we just kind of don't know about. So, on the 28th, we have Ghost of Dathomir. Been there. We also have a Galactic Challenge. This one will be on Ilum. It's bonuses for Separatists, and you're fighting against Resistance. On the 29th, we have an Assault Battle, Fanatical Devotion. Cool. The 30th is a Contraband Cargo, as well as a Stardust Transmission for any of you guys out there farming up Profundity. That's a pretty doggone good day. We also have a Territory War, number 331. Sign-up phase is starting on the 30th. On the 1st, we've got Home 1. Fleet Mastery, as well as another Galactic Challenge that we know nothing about yet. Or no, I shouldn't say we know nothing about it, because I believe, I can't recall exactly where it was, but somewhere on a forum post, that is going to be a Gungan one. So we know that. We know Sean's not getting Max Crate.
Nope.
That's certain. And then also an Omega Battle on Bespin and Grand Arena, Week 3, sign up. Don't forget to sign up on the 1st. That's all of the events that are like officially posted.
Not a lot.
What we also know is that something is coming on the 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it could be because the transmission was interrupted. Yeah, that's the new raid. It's finally here.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it's like, it's so funny that we think about how many raids we really have. I mean, in the amount of time that's going to happen. Like, when the crate raid came out, like, that was huge and new, and all of a sudden that disappeared. You know, now we have, the speeder bike thing that, I mean, I'm finally getting to the point where I'm getting decent at. I mean, and then we're going to move on. Into now we have something new.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready. We were talking about it before the show. It's like speeder bike raid, for better or worse. And this is also something I said last week, but so I guess whatever. I'll say it again. It's my show. For better or worse, like, you don't have to really think at this point. We know what we're doing. We send in Han and Drogon, or whatever our combos are, Piet and Drogon. Piet and Han? I don't know. I have them saved as tabs. Yes, it's Piet and Han. You send in Drogon and Scout Trooper, or whatever you have at the same relic levels. You know, it's the same thing every time. You do move 1, move 3, move 1, move 1, move 3. Like, it's... It's without pressing autoplay, your right thumb is basically on autopilot.
Yeah.
You don't have to think. So this will be interesting because we're going to have to do some brain crunching to get through this. I'm fine with that. I talked last week a bit about how draining this game can be when there's so much going on and it's all super difficult and all that. Like, this is where we want to think. We want a new raid to come out and be like, all right, let's see what the heck is this thing, you know? Let's wrap our head around something new. So that part's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. At least it's not dropping during Conquest.
Yeah. That'll be helpful.
That's good. That's really good. Or even territory battles, because territory battles will be done by then. So that's very good. So yeah, man, Battle for Naboo. That's pretty exciting. What was the forum post? It was something about like we need all able-bodied men and women. And
yeah, it's like droids are attacking, and I mean, hey, it's attempting to be funny. It's attempting to be, something. It's better than just saying, "Hey, by the way, on the 2nd of July, you're going to get to play something new."
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I'm jazzed. What day of the week is that? The 2nd is a Tuesday, I think. Yeah. All right. My Tuesdays aren't that busy, so that's perfect timing.
We're gonna be done with baseball at that point, so it's wonderful. So maybe I'll take a sick day from work. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay, so before we dive into this week's top stories, that's a preview of the story. Quick shout out to our fantastic Patreon supporters. If you enjoy what we do and you want to be a part of this exclusive community, head over to patreon.com/Galactic War Report. Your support makes this podcast possible, and you even get to gain access to our VIP section of the Discord server for some behind-the-scenes banter. Now then, punch it, Pop-Tart.
All right. So
I should mention I had to punch myself last week.
Oh.
Yeah. So
did you say quit hitting yourself? Quit hitting yourself? Or?
I couldn't. It hurt too bad.
I know, right? Yeah, so some of the updates wise, let's start with that there. Grievous was a little bit of a beast. Did you talk about that at all last week?
No, I didn't.
I didn't. I was gonna say I couldn't remember if you did, but the fact that you have a Grievous that was wrong, and then they're like, "All right, we're gonna get this fixed. Don't worry," and then it comes back, and Grievous is like, "Not gonna happen. We're still gonna do this."
Yeah,
yeah. It's still unbeatable. We did get an update saying, "Yep, it's still unbeatable." So at some point, that may change.
Yeah.
So, and again, the other update, which we just talked about, of course, is that, droids are everywhere, and July 2nd, get prepared. But the nice thing, too, is also in that group of stuff, there's a survey. And it's so funny because it's like they're saying, okay, we can talk for a second here for light speed bundles, but they're like, hey, the light speed bundle currently is not working exactly. Here, take a survey, So I thought that was kind of fun, too. But yes, for the light speed bundles, we'll talk more about here in a sec, but the PC version just wasn't working. So if you purchase it there, unfortunately, you did not get all of the, all of the Jedi there. You unfortunately just got a little bit of currency for it. So,
oof.
Now they have made good on this, but one of the other posts in there was like, "Yep, it's fixed, but sorry guys, like." We'll see what happens, but either way, that's out there. But let's talk a little bit about the Lightspeed bundle, because I think that was something that I heard a lot of people say, is this truly worth $20?
Yeah, and then, it's a big price tag. Like a lot of the Lightspeed bundles have been $10.
Mm-hmm.
There have been $20 ones, I believe.
And there's even been $30 ones,
Yeah, but the difference here being you look at these characters, and for $20, you get 5 characters to Relic 5.
Yeah.
So, like, hands down, yes, that's worth it. Right? Just incredibly worth it. However, what characters are they? And then that's where you start doing some math here. You got Plo Koon, not exactly a powerhouse.
Nope.
Luminara, definitely
Luminara.
Not a powerhouse.
Yeah, right.
Kit Fisto, it's still going downhill. Eth Koth, you forgot Eth Koth was in this game, because why would you keep that in your brain? And then who did I not name? There's another Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon, yeah.
Qui-Gon.
So, I mean,
Qui-Gon's good.
Qui-Gon makes sense. But I mean, just thinking, so I did watch a video of someone talking about the Cairo alone. The amount of Cairo is going to be huge in this. I mean, so really in the long run, it does make sense, but it has to be 100% reason why, is going to be for that raid. I mean, I look at Eth Koth, I was never going to level him up. Yeah. But then now I look at him going, oh, he has the ability to kind of ramp up towards droids. I mean, I just heard that droids are coming from everywhere. So, I mean, maybe. Right? I mean,
he's the powerhouse.
I mean, you just kind of look at it and think, okay, so with him, I mean, 25% chance and then basically stacks, and then 20% damage. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's something to where he's just going to be a beast. And I mean, I think you talked about it.
This is what it sounded like when the tank takedown was starting.
Oh,
everyone was like, Ugnaught gets extra stuff against droids. Eth Koth gets extra stuff against droids. Didn't pan out.
No.
I don't hold out. I'm not holding my breath on Eth Koth.
Yeah.
But I will say Luminara looks like she's going to be solid.
Yeah.
Like very solid.
I agree.
With all that heal over time. Like that could be very good in the raid. Qui-Gon, I mean, look, Qui-Gon's great. So no convincing there. Plo Koon, like I said, he's not exactly a powerhouse, but he's a Galactic Republic Jedi.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And his ship is amazing. So I don't hate that. Kit Fisto, this lets you use him in territory battles. I don't hate that. So is it worth it? Again, this is going to ultimately be, is it worth it to you or you?
There you go.
Who knows, right? If you've got all of these characters at Relic 4, then no, it's not worth it. But like me, I had Qui-Gon at Relic 3 or 5. He was 3 or 5. I think he was 3. And all the rest of them were gear 12. So like, I didn't have to think. I absolutely, yes, I will do that. For $20, all that signal data. I mean, at gear 12, I've already done some Cairo, or no, I guess I haven't probably, but because they're old characters. But yeah, I love this bundle.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was an easy no-brainer. I mean, first off, I mean, Qui-Gon was where he should be at 5, but all the rest of them were not. I mean, not even close. I mean, I don't even think. I think 3 out of the 4, weren't even past gear 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that was huge. And, looking at Plo, like he was gear 12 and I really need that ship to be better. So, I mean, that helps automatically, and I actually really like Kit Fisto, even if he's trash. The nice thing is you put him in there with Cal in territory battles, like he at least looked like he's doing something, and so,
yeah.
So, I mean, I like that. And I've really wondered, Luminara with Queen Amidala. I know there's a lot of people says it just isn't good, but again, it just adds more, heal over times. And I thought, why not, right? But Plo for me is going to end up slotting into Starkiller actually, and I've seen that work out pretty well because I'm not going to do, it just makes sense I just need basically a tank, and so a lot of times I use Old Ben in that case. So if I'm able now to get rid of Old Ben, to take him over to the Rebels, for Leia, then that gives me a spot. So, I mean, it made total sense for me as a whole. As much as spending $20 for a bunch of trash Jedi, but
I know.
It still made sense. But
I rag on NFTs all the time and crypto, this and that. Come on, man. Get out of here. When you break it down, what we're doing is not that different.
I know.
We're paying money also paying money for nothing. So, whatever.
But it feels better that I get to actually play with that nothing. I mean,
mine swings a lightsaber, so.
I know, right? I was actually saying that to my son. It was about, basically like the difference between like he was looking at NBA 2K, and I'm like, okay, that game disappears. Like, so you're buying not a lot, right? I mean, if you spend the money to upgrade your character, like it doesn't continue. So I'm like, my ROI on this game is different because then I can basically equate that out to how much fun I'm having. Like, really like think about how many years it is. I'm not going to add up how much money I spent because that's probably would make me
your
really
wife
sad.
might be listening, so let's not.
Yeah,
do
like
no.
She won't. It's okay. But no, like, but when we think about it, it really makes me feel better because it really feels like an investment.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, weirdly enough, even like if people play, you know, Fortnite and you're putting money into that, at least it's been going on for a really long time and you're actually having something that you can use compared to an image that you can just stare at and be like, man, I paid this good money for this thing. So
right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, paying money for something that brings you joy within reason, you know, of course.
I mean, I'm glad you said within reason. You know, if you're going to pay money to give you joy,
right? Yeah,
and you get to
not always okay, but yeah, Lightspeed bundle. I like it. The raid coming up, excellent. There was another thing. Oh, the assault battle.
Yeah,
Duel
so you
of
got that.
Fates. Man. Okay, so Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon have additive drops, right?
Yep.
They do this event where for several days they're supposed to be dishing out shards on normal, hard normal, or or hard fleet, right? Or was it any fleet? My God,
So
I don't even know.
I thought it was light. It was light side hard, right? And then Cantina. Yeah.
Yep, that's what it was. Good grief! See, you had coffee right before we recorded.
I did
not.
yes.
I should have.
It didn't help though, so it's all right.
And I hoarded a bit. I kind of messed up and spent a little here and there, so I didn't hoard like as much as I meant to. But that's okay because the drop rates were booty, so to speak.
Actually, sorry. When you said you hoarded and it just didn't work, I was thinking of like someone that's like hoarding a bunch of food and everything for like apocalypse or like a zombie apocalypse, and then they're at the point where they actually have the food starting to expire and they have to eat all the food because it's just like you hoarded, but it just didn't happen. And then you're like, all right, cans of peaches, right?
Worst hoard ever.
Right?
Oh, man. Yeah,
No, but I mean,
it's better than nothing, right? But I wish I wouldn't have hoarded because like I could have been spending that energy on other stuff and I'd be fine. I'd miss out on a couple shards.
I think, especially after listening to last week, like there is a lot of right now. It's kind of just meh in a lot of ways, and I think this is not helping that. Right? So like it really is. I mean, we haven't had a Galactic Legend in a little while, right? So we need to get a Galactic Legend. I mean, I think poor Jar Jar didn't live up to expectations a little bit. You know, I think there's just a lot going on.
Well, compounded that with the speeder bike raid.
Yeah.
The raid that we've had going, like, I loved the Crate Dragon raid.
Me too.
And switching from that to speeder bike pursuit, like, wasn't the best feeling, you know?
Yeah.
So you've already kind of taken some of the wind out of our sails, and now... I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but that is to say that we have a new raid. So I have some hope that that's going to put a little pep in my step, you know?
There you go, right? But I mean, with this assault battle, I mean, I'm super excited. I think beforehand I was just gushing about how much I can't wait until they're farmable so I can start to work on them. And but when you look at right now, the one thing that is bothering me the most in this game is the fact that I'm getting to be poor. When I say poor, it's like 41 million, you know, currency. And I don't know why, but I'm like, I'm feeling it a little bit. And so, you know, when you look at this, I mean, to have it to where you get multiple events and able to get, you know, like right now, I mean, 7 per. I mean, to have basically a 3-star character, that's pretty nice. I'll take it. Did they do a whoops and make it to where it's 7 days long and it refreshes? Well, hey, I got an extra I got extra 7. And I think you said that you got another extra 7 because you were up late. So, I mean.
So it refreshed on the second day and everyone got a second attempt. So the first day I got 7 Qui-Gon shards. Cool. I'm happy with that. Thank you. Second day, 7 Qui-Gon shards. Sweet. All right, great. The third day they pulled the event, but if your daily reset was before Pacific time, where they're based, you got another refresh. And that was me. And I wasn't trying to be a shyster. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm up and it's 1 a.m. I might as well just do my dailies. And so I did some of my dailies, and that was included, and I got 7 more Qui-Gon shards. So I feel, look, you got to get it where you can. Mm-hmm. And I saved up a lot of energy for those additive drops, and I didn't get what I wanted, so I took
you earned
the extra
it.
7 Qui-Gon shards. Thank you very much.
Well, I think when you look at kind of the event itself, I mean, there's not 20 different levels. It's not going to take you 4 hours to do. I mean, it really is just, you're going against Maul, and the hard part is why did they allow like a leader ability or something like that, or have it to where Qui-Gon, at least you get the lead. That's a little weird, but hey, I mean, it is what it is, right? But as a whole, when you look at it, and again, you're going to need them at Relic 9 to actually get to the later steps. But again, I mean, at least you have a reason, because first off, I mean, if you do all the events, it's 21 million crystals. I mean, and if it comes once a month, credits are, not crystals. How sweet would that be?
Amazing.
It would be like Richie Rich. I mean, we're buying everything, right? No, I mean,
all Relic 9, everything.
And we already know when it comes to credit heist, like, you're probably going to get 5. Doesn't matter what's happening, you're probably getting 5. I mean, if you have more than that, like, man, give yourself a high 5 on that one, because it's great. But 21 million, if they really do keep it to the once a month, I mean, that's not bad at all. I feel pretty good about that. Yeah. And then the other goodies in there are pretty good too. I mean, you have signal data, you have, relic materials. There really is in some decent, pieces to it. So
yeah. Oh, it's worth it for sure. I mean, these characters, they're not even farmable yet, but not just because I'm tied to the characters. I like Qui-Gon and I like Obi-Wan, but like, there's no question in my mind. As soon as they're farmable, like, these guys, you work on. You 100%. Absolutely work on.
And I'm going all in, even on that Omicron. I'm sorry, like, I'm doing it. Like, it's basically, I even thought about doing it with his last one, but I'm like, come on, he's 3 stars. What is he really going to do with an Omicron? But I mean, it just, I don't know. It's exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. Still wonder what's going to happen with the other 2 characters in that team, though. I mean, feels like it's already kind of a beast of a team on defense, and so again, the whales get to play with their, their good stuff. But
I've heard via a long distance game of telephone that it's fun.
Right? Yes.
Not me.
Changing names too, right? But
man, so Conquest, how'd you end up?
So it didn't go as well as I hoped, but it didn't go as horrible as it could be. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say. No, I ended up getting second to last crate. I just ran out of time to get to red. I mean, I did pretty well. I mean, I think I needed like 50, which wasn't too bad to get to the final. I just realized that timing for this one was tough, and I didn't realize, again, wasn't paying enough attention. And I didn't realize it was Qui-Gon to Qui-Gon. So I was doing Qui-Gon with, Padawan at the bottom of the last one. And so then I realized, like, that was horrible. I mean, because they were always dying. So I wasted a ton of energy. So it was my own fault. But overall, I feel like it was actually pretty fun this time, to be honest. And to be able to kind of, the feats weren't crazy hard. It just was like, you have to be good at, keeping a plan. I mean, the 4 Gungans with SLKR, I mean, I'm going to get probably 4 battles in, by the end. So, I mean, it's going to be fine. It just really was not as prepared.
Yeah.
And again, that's just a story of my life with Conquest, but there's no excuses. Like, there's no excuses.
Yeah.
So how did you end up?
Man, it came down to the wire, but I probably had 15 hours to go when I got Max Crate. It was the night before the end of it. So
nice.
Yeah, I got it. It just wasn't pretty. But I was able to kind of, in those last couple days, I didn't spend everything on feats because I only needed a couple of feats. Mm-hmm. So I'd do a couple battles with like multiple Hans, and then a couple battles with whatever the other thing was I was grinding. I don't know, separatists or something. And then you're kind of in a situation where your stamina, like you're going to get more energy. So just let the stamina come back. You got a day, get through it. So I, in those last couple days, was able to really get some Datacron farming done. And I ended up with, just about everything I wanted. I pulled a Gungan one up to Relic 9, up to level 9, and I landed on Boss Nass. I don't know if he's a good one or if there's a better one or whatever, but until I get a full team of Gungans, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I mean, I got, like I said, all the characters I wanted. So out of this cycle, I got 6 level 9
nice
Datacrons. I feel like that's about all I need. So besides that, there's a lot of good level 3 Datacrons. As long as you got the good level 3 thing,
that's what I was thinking too.
Long ways.
I mean, because really for me it's tough because the first order I'm only going to want to use SLKR, and
I ended up
Reva's
with the TIE Pilot one too.
Oh,
I don't know that I'll use it, but like
mine's only Relic 3, so that's a tough part. Yeah. Like I'm not going to increase.
Oh, it doesn't matter. He can't die.
Oh, really?
That's the Datacron. Is your Special Forces TIE Pilot can't die.
Oh yes, yeah.
So until you kill Supreme Leader Kylo. So it's one of those things where like it's only good if he's on a team with Kylo, and I have a Kylo Datacron, so
I know.
Who really cares, but
very true though.
Yep. I'm looking forward to seeing what the next set brings, because
me too.
I'm ready for some of those old ones to dust. For sure. I'm looking at you, Holdo. All right, what else do we have here? The Grand Arena this week. We're back at 5v5. We are here to take a look at the good and the bad of what we've done this week, and there's been plenty of both on my end. How was your week in Grand Arena?
Well, I want to first say that this is my first Grand Arena in a long time of not having insight, and so it was interesting. So after the update, after the update, I don't have it anymore. So I'm kind of like, all right, well, here we go. And so with SWGoH.gg updating to it, it also says what your overall, like what your win-loss is too.
Oh, right.
I'm like, holy moly. Like, I mean, I know they're really attempting for that 50% or pretty close to the 50%. So,
yeah.
But anyway, so I'll say this round was a little bit different, and, but it didn't end up being too bad. So I started off round 1 against Lone Star Steel, and so ended up winning on this one. It was really fun because SLKRs are so much fun at this point. Doesn't matter what you want to go against, you're going to kill it. Leia, same thing. I mean, it was just really nice. And then Bane is just, I mean, it doesn't matter what's in front of you. You're gonna kill it. Now, when that Datacron goes away, I'm gonna be a little bit sad. I won't lie with that. So, but
yep. That and Sidious, we hate to see him go.
I know. But now the bad, because there's a few of this. my bow is not beating a Vader because I didn't have a Zeta on and then an Omicron on. So finally I got those. So I know I'll do better this time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wasn't getting the true damage when I had any debuffs. So that wasn't really helping. So that was painful this whole time. And then Malgus lost against Qui-Gon. That just doesn't happen for me, but
man,
it happened. Jedi Master Luke couldn't take against Malicos because this person went so hard on D. It was crazy. That was rough. I mean, it was just really kind of tough to get a lot of wins, to be honest. And then Sidious doesn't beat the Finn team. That was basically, they kept on cleansing. I thought I could get through it, but couldn't, so that didn't help. Even my Imperial troopers lost against Night Sisters. So I mean, it was.
Man, this is like sad.
A little
These
bit
are direct counters that are just failing left and right.
And it really was. There was one right after the other. But the nice part is they went through and destroyed. Basically, they came in. They used Leia against Rey. It didn't work, and they just quit. So I ended up winning 1,000 to 1 to 13. So that was awesome. So I love it when people just don't play. It's wonderful. So. And here's the thing, with whatever was happening, I thought I was doing better, but basically when I looked at my skill rating, I swear it dropped. I mean, I could have been wrong, but I was right about where I was going to actually get kicked out of Relic or Kyber 2. So it didn't feel, it feels a little bit more pressure this time around. So, but in the second one, I went against Wicket Mall, which it's so Boston, I think, but you know, just basically, it's wicked fun. This is a wicked mall. Sorry. So the good Bane did what Bane did. Malgus got got to go through and take out the Qui-Gon to make me feel like that should work.
Oh, there we go.
You know, and when I looked at it, they had 820 and they had one loss, which is going with basically, my Malicos ended up going through so Jeez, oh, Pete's Josh. Let me read this real quick here. So, yeah, they ended up having one loss. They used Malicos, and it just didn't work. And then that means I just had to have a clear victory. And I did a full clear on everything. It was just pretty easy, nothing too crazy. Then I get to ships, and I take down Executor. Then I go through and take down his Leviathan. And all I have left is Radis. And I have my Negotiator. It didn't work. So, and it was painful. I mean, he even took she took my ship away too. Like, it was a full on beating. And so I lost 1,800 to 1,820.
Jeez.
So that was ouch.
Painful.
Yeah. And so then round 3 happened. I'm like, all right, I have to do well. And then I see that they've attacked once. They're at 74. I'm like, perfect. Don't play. Like, that's my best defense is when you just stop. And so I'm like, I can do this. Man, it was like round 1. I think I'm not good. Like, insight is great. But on the other side of it, everything I did, I felt like should do all right. But anyway, so what is good? Sid took out Malgus pretty easy. That was great. Bane against Leia, wonderful. SLKR was wonderful against Kenobi. And then I get to Lord Vader, and guess what? Bo doesn't do it again.
Try Bo again.
I know, right? Smart. I mean, it was so close, though.
Yeah.
In both times, I get down to Vader, so then I'm thinking, okay, this is easy. I'll bring in, bounty hunters to take out Vader. I mean, that should easily do it. Nope. That didn't work out. And so then they had every single GL on defense, and so they had SLKR, Kron on there. So I'm like, all right. I went down to the bottom, actually cleared out the bottom. So then I'm like, all right, here we go. What can we do? I got Jedi Master Luke. Let's see if you could take down the SLKR. No, that didn't work. And then I used Bane to go through to take out Jabba. And so then I had Sith Eternal against Rey. That didn't work. And then I tried to use Starkiller against Starkiller, and that didn't work. But luckily, they didn't play, so the best defense is no offense. And so I ended up winning 924 to 74. So it was a win. I can't say that I should feel good. I did get third place in this, which was wonderful. So I think I love this group. So yes, that was mine. Like, again, I'm not sure if it's a limping or crawling to get two vehicles, two victories, but I'll take it. How about for yours?
Well, last round, I won my last match and got squished out of Kyber 1.
Remember seeing that.
It's like, congratulations, you win. Also, you've been relegated. What? Not cool.
It doesn't make
Not
sense.
Cool at all.
Yeah.
So, whatever. So I drop from 36-29. I'm currently 35-14 now. So it's been a bumpy road. Here's the highlights. I went up against Mini 20, right? And besides me kind of pooping the bed against a Leviathan, because that's exactly what my Chimera did.
There you go. Yes.
Everything else went pretty well. And I won 1806 to 1789. Round 2, I went up against someone named Karen. Or Karen.
Yes.
Kara.
No, but it's Karen to me.
I'm terrified, right? No, this was a game where a day where I went with my family to a baseball game in Detroit. That's a drive. A lot of driving. And I just missed the attack phase. So I pull over. My daughter has to use the bathroom, and I'm like, I'll pull over right now. Absolutely. So we pull over, and while she's in there, I'm like furiously trying to go through a couple matches. I ended up 533 to 1827. Nothing exciting happening, right? But then round 3, I'm like, well, I got this. I lost last round, so I'm not going up against top dog. I can take this. I'm down at Kyber 2, man. I can hang here. But then, against their Jedi Master Kenobi, and you can see this on Twitch. The video's up there. Against Matrix Gameplaya, my Jedi Master Kenobi fails against their Jedi Master Kenobi. Because defensive datacrons are a bad idea. They're bad for the game. Stop making defensive datacrons. Things that reduce your damage by 75%. No, we don't want that. We don't need it. It's bad. You take the best team in the game and give them 75% damage reduction. So I use my Jedi Master Kenobi against it. And a mirror match. I've got the same datacron, but like it all depends on who's got the right turn meter where and everything. It's a timeout. It's a timeout team, and I hate that. So, bad start. So then I sent Jedi Master Luke in to see if he can clean up the mess, and he can't.
No.
So then I used Supreme Leader Kylo to finally beat it. 3 Galactic Legends down in one match. Listener, I did not win this round of Grand Arena Championship. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I fought a Queen Amidala, and I didn't have anything to beat it at that point. I tried Bo-Katan, wouldn't work for me. I tried Radis, didn't work. It was a disaster. So 1426 to 1775, I lose. At 1775 is just, that's a beatable score, you know?
It is.
I could have beat that. The round 2, the score, I actually, while we were on our way home, I think I had done like a match or two before the night before. So just because I knew there was a chance this would happen. And so while we're on the way home, I'm like talking to my wife. I'm like, honey, can you open up my phone and look at Galaxy of Heroes and see what the score is? And she does. And she's like, as she opens it, you can hear the sound effect of sectors clearing, you know, when you first open it and it goes pew, 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 pew. I'm like, ooh, that doesn't sound good. That sounds like a beatdown. And she said, yeah, so you've got like 200 points and they've got 1827.
Oh, jeez.
And I was like, well, you know, even if I would have had time, I probably would have lost this matchup. So, whatever. It is what it is. I'm fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hey.
Before we wrap things up, we need to tell these people who you grinded.
And last week, I mean, you guys didn't get your hit. I mean, you didn't get your dose of any grind from me. So obviously I want to, none of it. I
tried to just take some guesses. I was like, yeah, he didn't do anything.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, the week before I really didn't have much, but just shards. So this week I had a little bit, so it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So I've really decided 100%, you know, Vader's my next GL. It may not be the next thing that I do, but it's really working towards it. I'm doing it. Don't care, right? So, but then I also had conquest characters get unlocked this time around. So I'll start first with that. Queen Amidala, I was able to get enough shards right at the beginning of conquest to get her all taken care of. And so she went from gear 9 to now up to relic 5. I was actually able to put her Zeta on there for loyal bodyguard, and then ended up doing the Omicron as well, just because. It's looking at it. I did get some holds with her on defense with 501st, and so now with the Omicron on there, I think it's going to be even more nasty. And I know I'm going to end up using it later on with Qui-Gon and in the other individual there. So I call them the Poncho Boys or the Poncho Pals. And so they, luckily enough, they went. Qui-Gon went from 20 out of 30 up to a whopping 20 out of 30. So yeah, those drops did me well, and then Jeez. Pad Kenobi, he went from 20 out of 30 up to 10 out of 65. So at least that is a little bit better. So then also too on the ship side of it, I have the BLT. That's one is really taking me forever, but I'm finally getting there. 68 out of 100 up to 85 out of 100. So we're getting pretty close. Now other pieces to it for Lord Vader. Wrecker went up one level. Man, I forgot how Cairo hungry they are, so that's going to be fun. But hey, It's going to be worth it. I know it's going to be worth it. Tech-wise, went from 22 out of 100 up to 46 out of 100. Echo didn't do much here, but 44 out of 65 up to a whopping 50 out of 65. Now, Hunter did get a name change from Hunter to Hunter back again. So he went from 6 out of 100 up to a whopping 66 out of 100. So that was a really good... I actually changed up the strategy a little bit and making it to where I'm really focusing just on two of them right now. So Omega, because she got into the Galactic War, she is all said and done. So that is really nice. So, I mean, I'm pretty dang far away, but it is pretty cool. Jar Jar / Gungans, because again, why not? Episode 1. And so Boss Nass, 74 out of 85 up to 18 out of 100. Captain Tarples is finally the first Gungan that is finished. He went from 53 out of 100 to done. Boomadir, 39 out of 65 up to 57 out of 65. But remember, that's for 2 weeks. So if you got your finger and toes out in the calculator, that is not a good rate by any means.
That's not the best.
Felix, 59 out of 65 to 21 out of 85. So, I mean, they're just going to sit there anyway until everything else is done, but I'm really looking forward to it. Now, the character that kind of came out of left field for me, which I didn't even realize I was as close as I was, Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, I ended up unlocking him during this conquest. And so, I don't know why, I don't really plan on using them too much, to be honest, because my remnant team is a little bit rough. So, but still, I decided why not. So he got up to Relic 5. I'm just going to use him as a tank, and worst case scenario, and we'll see what happens. I really don't want to level up any of the more remnants at this time, but at some point maybe I'm going to have to. But still, he is Zeta-less, so he is a slim and trim Relic 5. So when you have a conquest character that's not even the top rows of your characters, like Queen Amidala and him are like, come on, man, like give me some gear, not gear, but give me some decent mods and, maybe a Zeta or two. But so, yeah.
Shut up and go hang out with Admiral Trench.
I know, right? Do it. At least he's not with Boba. I mean, Boba's like, what about me? No, buddy. It's not happening. I'm sorry. No Omicrons, no Zetas. All right. So, yes, that's 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks of not a lot of movement, but a little bit of movement. So I'm glad you got your fix this week. So I got to get mine since I missed last week, even though I did listen to the episode. Who you grinding?
Well, a few things. I finally, it just kind of lined up that I had just the right amounts of materials and stuff to take Amidala from Relic 4 up to 5. So I just went ahead and did that. Kind of snuck it in between other projects. But I got Padawan Obi-Wan with all the drops and everything from 15 out of 30 up to 33 out of 65. And then Master Qui-Gon similarly from 15 out of 30 up to 36 out of 65. So I'm pretty happy with where they're kind of sitting right now. But, obviously those drops didn't wow me, but it's fine. We'll get there. Stap I took from Gear 12 up to Relic 3. Raven's Claw. I've been hitting that Raven's Claw, 74
you were.
Up to 86 out of 100. Like
fancy.
That's all right. And then I bought that pack. So all those Gear 12 Jedi went up to Relic 5. Feels kind of nice. As far as Jar Jar, my Boss Nass went from Relic 1 up to Relic 5. My Tarpals went from 11 out of 100 up to Relic 5. And Phalanx went from 56 out of 85 to 20 out of 100. And Boomadir went from 81 out of 85 to 39 out of 100. So I've only got 2 guys left, and they're both like approaching the halfway point between 6 and 7 stars. Feels all right. Zetas, I don't remember which one I had already done, but I did the other one. So now Master Qui-Gon and Padawan Obi-Wan both have their Zetas. Omicrons, I wrote Embo. Did I do Embo? Or am I making that up? I'm making that up. I didn't do Embo. I did Juhani. I knew it was a territory war. It hurts, but whatever. I was thinking Embo might be my next one, but the more I'm looking at my current strategy in Grand Arena, the more I'm thinking, let's actually drop a couple more in Grand Arena before I head back and do an Embo. Datacrons, like I said, I'm feeling pretty good about where I ended up there. I got the I got Boss Nass. I got a lot of good stuff there. So new set comes around. Gonna be all right. When that old one dusts, I've got a surplus now. So that's all we got for you this week. May not be the best advice, but at least we didn't recommend you keep grinding that Raven's Claw like we do. We just will not stop. If you want to continue the conversation, join our Discord server. It's linked in the show description. Become a real live Jawa by supporting us on Patreon and share your thoughts by leaving us a podcast review. Big thanks also go out to Habu Appa and SWGoH.gg and SWGoHevents.com for providing all the hard data we misinterpreted. Thanks for tuning in. and may the Force and RNG